topic of this presentation is Václav Vlček, Lidija, Wisiak, and Enrico Prampolini's Futurist theater. In this presentation, maybe I will speak more about Prampolini than about Vlček and Wisiak, but don't worry, in the text which we will follow, I hope not so early. I mean, I hope that we will get enough time to prepare our text for Amfiteater journal. Then, of course, I will add much more details, interesting details. And as for now, let me do just really like a short intro in the topic, which is for me very interesting, not only because of Prampolini, who is for me one of the most interesting and prominent representative of Italian futurism, also a special figure within the movement, but also because of this special, specific collaboration between Prampolini and this Czech-Slovenian duo, dancers, Václav Vlček and Lidija Wisiak, and Vlček was also a choreographer and Lidia's teacher, and in one part of their lives also a partner. And it happened just, in a short period of time, maybe 2 years, more intensively. Then maybe there were also some other contacts. I cannot say exactly because I need to go through the archive material, not only here in Slovenian Theatre Institute Museum, but also in Italy, which is something which I have to still to do. And then I will be able to say more surely if if the contacts were developed any more in the also in the other years after that initial collaboration. But let me start with not really with Prampolini, but with Capo di Banda, so of course Marinetti, who was the big boss and guru of futurist movement. It is interesting that if you when you see some photos from that time with a group of futurists, then almost always Marinetti is in the center, and then all other people, members of the movement, are surrounding him. Sometimes they watch him, and sometimes they watch to the cameras and to him. So absolute guru. I would say that among the problems Italian futurists were concerned about in their performative practices, where of course there are many of them, but I would, for this occasion, I would mention it, only two. On one hand, the performer, and on the other hand, the space. So already in 1914, Marinetti wrote the manifesto with the title Dynamic and Synoptic Declamation. It was first published then, I think, 2 years later, but it was written already in 1914, so early period of so-called first futurism. So in that manifesto we can read that the costume of the futurist performer should be anonymous, his voice should be dehumanized and metallized, as well as his face. So facial expressions, mimic, things like that, it is completely forbidden. His gesticulations should be geometric and harmonized with famous parole in libertà method. He should move with different dynamic, according to different dynamic, etc. As we can see, Marinetti's manifesto represents a consistent demand for performance mechanization, which might remind us to quite similar ideas from the famous Bauhaus Bühne, so the theatrical workshop in Bauhaus led by Oskar Schlemmer. These early principles of the performer's behavior and the status of his body on stage were modeled on and improved upon by almost all theater experimenters during the futurist movement. No matter if we talk about mechanization of the performer's character or the style of his performing, which is the difference introduced by Michael Kirby in his famous and very important book, Futurist Performance, which was published already in 1971. When speaking about the space in the futurist performance practices, an early manifesto by Enrico Prampolini was very important and even crucial. I would say it is the manifesto entitled Futurist Scenography from 1915. As you can see, this photo was taken by Veno Pilon, so Slovenian visual artist who was living in Paris, and they were, colleagues, friends. So Veno Pilon made this portrait of Prampolini, which is again one of these connections, let's say, Slovenian, Italian avant-garde connections. The manifesto by Prampolini starts with the futurist scenography, starts with the statement, let's reform the stage. And then he repeated the same sentence, just with small variations, several times during the manifesto. According to Prampolini, the scenography in the then mainstream theater is equivalent, now I'm quoting, is equivalent to a photographic enlargement of a rectangle of reality. Later on in the manifesto, he attacks the scenographers of a realistic drama theater with typical futuristic aggressive wordings. He says, now I'm quoting Prampolini, perhaps scenographers believe in its absolute necessity to represent the reality. Idiots! Don't you understand that your efforts, your useless realistic preoccupations have no effect other than that of diminishing the intensity of emotional content, which can be attained precisely through the interpretative equivalence of these realities, namely abstractions. So, no realistic way of representation, but let's do the abstract art, something which I'm sure our dear colleague Dragan Živardino would sign immediately, because he's also talking all the time about abstractions. Excuse me about this, but yeah, I will survive somehow, and you with me. Scenographic representation of the reality is so totally wrong and should be changed. Therefore, in order to reform the stage, it is necessary to, now we will go down. The students have to go because they have other subjects, unfortunately. here we have the 5 points written in the Futurist Scenography Manifesto. Shortened, I shortened them, but I kept the main points, main idea. So therefore, it is, in order to reform the stage, it is necessary to, first, refuse the exact reconstruction of what the playwright has conceived, thus definitely abandoning every real relationship, every comparison between object and subject and vice versa. Second, substitute for scenic action and emotional order that awakens all sensation necessary to the development of the work. Third, have absolute synthesis in material expression in the stage. Fourth, make the scenic architecture by a connection for the audience intuition. So not that much about rational interpretation, but more about intuition. 5. Have the colors and the stage arouse in the spectator those emotional values that neither the poet's words nor the actor's gestures can evoke. So let's, in other words, let's make the scenography let's make it speaks its own language, so to say, in a more abstract way of expression. Prampolini wants to create a completely new stage, a dynamic stage, mainly by creating what he calls the illuminating stage. He says, instead of the illuminated stage, let's create the illuminating stage. Small difference in linguistic terms, but big in the content. In other words, let's create luminous expression that will irradiate the colors demanded by the theatrical action with all its emotional power. To this end, he proposes the use of what he would say electromechanical colors, like fluorescent mixtures and other mixtures of gases that are, that are sensible to electricity, to electric current, by using ultraviolet tubes and other technical means. It is also, quite technical explanation by him. But the futurist scenographic and choreographic evolution must not stop here, says Prampolini. In the final synthesis, human actors will no longer be tolerated, like children's marionettes of today's super marionettes recommended by recent reformators. Of course, here Prampolini is referring to Edward Gordon Craig and his notion of Über Marionette, so super marionette, which is, according to him, he recognizes that it was important proposal by Craig, but it was not radical enough. So that's why we are speaking about Edward Gordon Craig, or Appia, or I don't know, Coupeau, and many others as reformers of the theater, and not as avant-gardists. Avant-gardists are supposed to be more radical than only, what, 5 minutes? Are you crazy? He said 5 minutes. But here is the moderator is there. You are not the moderator of this panel. And he is Jakob is moderator.
Yeah, but we have to be objective, so that's why.
Yeah, because I'm his mentor. I see, I'm his mentor, and then, of course, yeah, he's friend.
It's your student, but I'll bring
Okay, I will speed up, and I will, 5 minutes will be, okay, and it's not enough, but because I just started, but okay. His final, the most important point is, quoting from the manifesto still, this authentic actor gases, so actor gases, actor as gases, of an unknown theater will have to replace living actors. So not Ibermarionette, not marionette at all, but gases. These explosive cases will fill the audience with joy or terror, and the audience will perhaps become an actor itself as well. He finishes this manifesto with an announcement, in fact. He says, but these words are not our last. We still have much more to say. And he did it in 1924 with his manifesto Futuristic Scenic Atmosphere, which appeared in the catalogue of the famous exhibition, this one, international, it was Internationale Ausstellung Neuer Theatertechnik, International Exhibition of New Theater Technique in Vienna in 1924. So the second very important manifesto by Prampolini was published exactly in the catalogue of this really enormously important exhibition, which was organized by Friedrich Kissler, and Kissler invited Prampolini to be curator of the Italian section of the exhibition. It was really a very important exhibition, which was then, I have here one photo just to have an idea, but it is not the most representative one because there were also some constructions of some models of new scenes, completely new scenes, not only scenography, but constructions of scenes in different dimensions. So it was actually an attempt by Kissler to show what was at that time, so in the mid-20s, what were the most important advancements in the theater space, arrangement of the space, technology, architecture, everything in that sense. And of course, many avant-garde artists took part in the exhibition. And 2 years later, in 1926, this exhibition moved to New York. So it was also shown in the United States. The most important point of Prampolini is that we should think about the performer, as in a way as a space. So if we think about an actor as a gas, then we are talking at the same time also about the space, because gas also needs certain space, to emanate, to exist. How to say. And on the other hand, also the ideal of scenic space is the machine, futuristic idea of machinism, of machine. Then, of course, it is quite understandable that futurists demand mechanization and dehumanization of the performer. In the manifesto Futurist Scenic Atmosphere, Prampolini asked for cancellation of the duality between the man, or the human figure, as a dynamic element, and the space as a static element in the theater. And this, disturbing the duality he tried to get rid of with his project of magnetic, so-called magnetic theater. This magnetic theater, with better illustration is here maybe, was shown next year, so in 1925 in Paris, at the International Exhibition of Decorative Arts, and Prampolini got Grand Prix of that also very important in the exhibition in Paris, in the category of theater art. So in Italy, he couldn't find support for this radical ideas, so he went to Paris, to France, to Paris, and he established in Paris theater, pantomimic theater, futurist pantomimic theater. This theater, so this is the reproduction of the first page of the catalog, I mean of the, how to say, the gledališki list, I don't know, the program publication, okay, I don't know, maybe you know.
It's called the program.
And here is the poster of the group. So it was the group, and they started in 1927 with the first performance, the first project of consisting of 10 short pantomimas, so short scenes. In the abstract, there is a mistake. That is written 1937, so it is not 30, it is 27. So it was defective, okay? I didn't know. So in 1927. And in this, this project was supported by Maria Ricotti, who was very important theater artist. I think that his partner or something like that, he gave money, but she was the person who found money for Prampolini. And then the troupe was established, and they performed this first performance, which had quite a lot of repetitions. I think that maybe more than 30. If I remember properly. So it was quite a success. They were planning the next one, the next project, which was not then realized. Here in, unfortunately I don't have time now to go into details, but here, just for you to get an idea, here we see a photo from one scene called Cocktail, which was written, scenario was written by Marinetti, there the scenarios for these scenes were written by different persons. This one by Marinetti. I think that this should be Vlček, but I have to still to check it just in case. And this is another photo from Cocktail. And also here is the costume which was used in, which is preserved in Italy. So here we come to Vlček and Lidija Wisiak. Why? Because they performed in the pantomimic theater of Prampolini. And here we see, on this photo, we see the scene, which is called Mercante Liquore, Salesmen of Hearts, let's say. I don't know if the translation is good. In this, this scene was very much respected, prized by theater critics at the time, saying that here we can see what could be like futuristic new way of doing theater, blah blah blah, and not that much in scenes where, for instance, Maria Ricotti was playing. Many writers, many critics of the time actually had very, very good assessments about the Lidija, Wisiak and Vlček's dance and also Vlček's choreography. Lidija Wisiak is here. Here you can see. I'm not going into details what is it about. These are actually marionettes and then 3 performers that are playing and doubling and so, but we don't have time for it. You can read it later on in the text. And here is again Lidija Wisiak here with 2 other dancers. Here we see the Vlček in the same scene. Okay, this is just an example because there were 10 scenes in it. And a stage model made, of course, by Prampolini for this scene. Let me tell you at least this one, please, Gaspar, where you are, give me just 3 or 4 minutes, and then I will finish. So he left. Excellent. Then I can talk as much as I want. Jakob, do you agree? I can talk about as much as I want.
No, we have to finish in 5 minutes, but please tell us this.
Also, now you see, he took the position of
somebody has to. Sorry.
I will finish in 2 minutes, not worry. I would just like to say just this small detail at the end. So the second production was unfortunately didn't happen in Paris. But Prampolini organized the tour in Italy next year in 3 cities. He also wanted to have the performance, repetition of the performance in Trieste. So I wanted to mention it because Trieste is here in our region. And also, as Tomasz mentioned the other day, in Trieste, first Serata started in Trieste in 1910. So that's maybe interesting for us as well. So what happened? Prampolini sent a letter to Bruno Sansin, to Trieste, asking him to organize the repetition of the performance in Trieste. This, what you can see here, is a digital copy of the original letter, which I found by occasion and got the digital copy. I don't know where is now the original. It came out from the patrimony of Prampolini, so from the archives, but it was then it was sold in one auction. So I don't have any idea where is the document now. Somebody bought it, but I have digital copy. And in the book, which is the book by Sansin, Io e il Futurismo, which was published in 1976. This letter, exactly this letter, was mentioned, which is interesting. And here you can see the copy of the original. It was sent, you see, on 8th of November 1927. So, let's say 5-6 months after the debut, the premiere in Paris. And he offered it for the next year, and then really in 1928 there was a tour in Italy, but unfortunately not in Trieste. Now we will see. Here I just a few sentences from the letter. I cannot now go into everything. Dear Sansin, my translation from Italian, so please, it is maybe not really perfect, okay? I appoint you as our representative in Trieste. This is really like futuristic way of doing it, You are our representative, I give you power, to speak in the name of futurists of Italy. We absolutely need the Rossetti Theatre for scenic needs and because we need a large theatre that will jive a lot in the evenings, given that we will give only 3 or 4 shows. So try to deal energetically with the management. My company is made up of 20, now we get interesting details, of 20 people. The show will consist of 8 pantomimes instead of 10, as it was in Paris. They changed some of the scenes. It will last about 3 hours. Russolo, we all know who is Russolo, of course, will also be there with his new instrument. Russolo was constantly producing new instruments for rumori, rumor armonio, and will with the harmonic strings that are, I cannot read now because something is here, presented for the, maybe I have here, no, presented for the first time in Italy. Now, Zoom workplace. What to do?
It's the end of the world, so.
What to do? This. No. Go away. I need this last minute. I need this minute. Okay, and now Sanzin says in the book, in his book, needless to say, I immediately got to work mobilizing direct and indirect acquaintances and seeking recommendations everywhere in order to arrive with the greatest probability of success in the presence of the impresario who centralized all the theatrical initiatives of my city, of Dresden. For me, it would have been an extraordinary success, with, in addition to the satisfying friends, instead, in a high level artistic enjoyment, would have given me the opportunity to present in my Trieste a first-rate and at the same time captivating show capable, long sentence, capable of confirming the validity of futurist art in the face of the pièce detractors who annoyed me to the point of sickness. Unfortunately, the proposed period did not coincide with the availability of the theatre. According to the official version, I would speak at least, but almost likely the concern of the impresario prevailed, who, poorly informed and probably prejudiced, could not escape the unfavorable impression left on him by the previous futurist evenings, Serate in Dresden, of a very different consistency and cleanliness, concluded in the indecent carnival climate that we know well about Serate Futurist. The result of the contacts had left no way out. I could only resign myself once again, defeated, aware, however, of having worked tirelessly for the success. Don't hold it against me, my dear unforgettable Prampo. So, I think that this nice poetic letter could be the end